Hey everybody, this is the JoshMeister. I'm here at the Apple Store for the launch of Snow Leopard, macOS 10.6. And this is kind of an interesting feature in the airport menu, where you can test. You can obviously see the Wi-Fi signal strength of the access point that you're currently connected to. Well, now in Snow Leopard, if you click on that menu, you can actually see the signal strength of all the other access points that are nearby, right from that menu, without having to try to connect to that access point first. So, here's another cool thing. Screenshots are still saved to the desktop by default, but now the file name actually makes it clear that the file is a screenshot. Before, you would just get picture 1, picture 2, picture 3 on your desktop. Now, when you take a screenshot in Snow Leopard, it actually puts a file on your desktop and names it screenshot, and then with the date and time. Another thing I tried out was trimming movies in the new QuickTime player. Just like on the iPhone, you select the area you want and hit trim, and then you can save your file or save as if you want to create a copy with the changes. So now getting on to a couple of kind of security issues in macOS 10 that I'm a little bit surprised and still haven't fixed in Snow Leopard. These were things that I talked about, when Leopard first came out. On I presume, a fresh install, Safari still has the status bar hidden by default. So when you hover your cursor over a link to see where it'll go, there's no bar at the bottom that'll tell you, unless you manually turn it on. Another thing that I noticed is that in the Finder, file name extensions are still hidden by default. There are ways that you can hide other executable content in a file that doesn't look like it's an executable by pasting a custom icon on it and things like that. Here's another security thing. I recently blogged at security.thejoshmeister.com about how macOS 10 Snow Leopard contains a new, sort of like a virus scanning feature, although apparently it's not a full-fledged virus scanner built into the OS. When you download a couple particular types of Mac-specific malware, and this is, as of right now, 2 specific types of malware, and that's it, is all this detects, but the new version of Core Types, which is a technology built into the Mac OS, it now has a file called xprotect.plist, and that file contains information on 2 particular types of Mac malware. So if you accidentally come across a site with those particular downloads, you now by default, it'll come up with a big error message saying, this file is infected, do you want to eject this disk image? In any case, this is not a full-fledged antivirus. One of the ways I tested that was by downloading the eicar test file, which you can get at eicar.org. That's a test file that's not actually malicious. It won't actually harm any computer. All antivirus makers automatically build a signature into their antivirus solution to make sure, without actually testing any malicious files, that their scanning engine actually works. The eicar test file was not picked up as malicious by Safari when I downloaded it. They are using semantics names for the particular types of malware, which is interesting, and makes me kind of curious whether they're using, whether they're licensing semantic technology, or whether they've just got their own thing that's built in. From what I've seen, just kind of looking at the xprotect.plist file so far, it looks like it's just really basic. There may not really be a full virus scanning engine. It is interesting, though, that they're using semantics names rather than any other antivirus vendor. Let's see. Oh, and also when I was typing up the word eicar in TextEdit, I noticed an interesting new feature. It'll actually autocorrect text that it thinks is misspelled. In some cases, it may be completely off. Like when I was typing out eicar, as soon as I hit space, it auto-corrected it to vicar. The E and the V keys are nowhere near each other on the keyboard. I have no idea why Apple would auto-correct that, but for some reason it does. And that's in TextEdit, and I presume other applications too. This autocorrection technology is pretty cool, though, in some cases, when you have a typo, like you type, for example, I mistyped keyboard in a whole bunch of different ways. I tried keyboard, left out the A, it auto-corrected that. Also auto-corrected keyboard, keybaord, keyborad, and kybord. All of those were auto-corrected to keyboard. So that's pretty cool. However, it doesn't fix certain common typos. Like sometimes when you go to hit the comma key, you might accidentally bump the M key, which is right next to it. I noticed it doesn't autocorrect any of those. I tried keyboardm, housem, applem with a comma after each one of those, and it didn't autocorrect any of that. Those are just a few little things, some of my first notes and impressions about macOS 10 Snow Leopard. There's a whole bunch of more technologies that are built into Snow Leopard. Most of them are under the hood changes, but you know, for the most part, they're all very good. It's only $29. I think it's $25 on Amazon right now. You can check out my blog about security also at security.thejoshmeister.com. And I'm a regular podcast host, one of the main hosts of MacMod Live, which is the official podcast of MacMod.com. You can find our podcast at MacModLive.com.